Fragrance Friday. Phoenix J back, y'all, with another one. And this one, y'all, we're getting into the reds and the pinks of my collection. I've talked about so many of these fragrances before. In fact, I think this might be one of the largest sections besides blue and green. This is one of the largest sections of my collection. And it's kind of crazy because I've always been a little bit more anti-red and pink. Like, toxic masculinity had me hating pink for a very long time, and red to me it didn't work the best with my complexion, so I didn't wear a lot of it. And then I pledged a fraternity, and then the fraternity that was the opposite of us had red, and so I was just like, red just wasn't my thing. But up until recently, I found myself moving more into reds and pinks, especially as I experiment with my hair, because the right shades have been found to complement my undertones and my skin very well. And so as we see, the collection is now reflecting more of a love for reds and pinks. Now, many of these, like I've said before, I've talked about, I've gone into deep detail. So I'm not going to go super crazy detailed on every single one. Certain ones we are going to give a little bit more of a highlight to, though, like ones we haven't had a ton of time discussing. And the first one that we're actually going to discuss is one we haven't had a ton of time to discuss before. This was a birthday gift I got myself one year, maybe 3, 4 years ago. It was a splurge, one of, I'd probably say my first 10, 15 true luxury perfumes. This is Givenchy Organza, isn't it? I think it's called Woman. It's something Organza. Oh, that's the name. It's Organza. That's it. Organza. And this is a truly rich, warm, seductive fragrance. Like, I really only wear this. This is more like dates, really, really special occasions where I get to dress up, like mixers. It is, there's even a touch of powderiness to it, but not like powdery like Chanel number 5. It is a bit more of a complimentary floral, especially with my own body situation. Like, it works really well and pulls really well on me. What I like about this is that projection is bonkers, sillage is crazy, longevity is nice. I don't ever really layer when I wear the Givenchy. It just has a nice bit of body to it, and I really enjoy the way that it smells on me. But again, I really reserve this for some of my more special occasions. Not weddings, because I've told y'all before, when it's wedding time, I'm usually wearing like Black Orchid. That's one of the only times I pull out a Tom Ford fragrance is my Tom Ford Black Orchid. I love that for a wedding because to me it really gives the black tie formal vibe. But this is more like a flirty formal. Like it's and even now I can smell it transforming. Mm. It's rich, it's warm, and it's flirty. Those are the best words I can use to describe it. This one's a lot of fun. Um I know we've talked about this one before. This is Dead Dinosaurs. This is from Sniff. Y'all know how I feel about Sniff, being a Sniff ambassador. This one, Dead Dinosaurs, actually has a gasoline accord to it. Um, Not a new car scent, but your first car scent, an ode to the addictive smell of gasoline, garage hangs, and simpler times. This one's really nice. And it honestly does make me think of Tom Ford fragrances, how they're composed, because you get a great deal of power from this one. Yeah, you get a great deal of power. You get that bit of smokiness, that bit of like muskiness. But this is a true unisex. Like, you can definitely sweeten this up if you want, or you can wear it as is. This is a good one. And it's got really nice projection. On the opposite side for Sniff, we have their first like gourmand designed for men. This is Room for Dessert. I did not know this was a men's fragrance. It was designed to be a men's fragrance. And what I like about Room for Dessert is that it is a combination of fruity notes with strawberry, but it's got a creme brulee accord in there that's really like custardy and kind of like it's just yummy. It's delicious. This is a really good one, especially for guys who want to tiptoe into sweeter fragrances but don't know where to start. This is a great place to start. Yeah, like that strawberry. And this has had a little bit more time to macerate. It's even more powerful now. The strawberry just kicks. It kicks. It kicks butt. Like, it just comes out swinging. Oh, that's nice. And it also has this little bit of like a candy vibe before it leans into the creme brulee accord, which is like true custard, um, kind of pillowy, creamy. Like I've said before in other fragrances, like that kind of custard base, you really get that here. That is such a beautiful fragrance, and I think that every time I smell it. Um, Kind of in the same vein, and what I love, y'all, is that they have like There's a spinner on this set, which I love. Back here, we've got Gen Z Marshmallow, which I know I've talked about before. It's a dupe of KLE Marshmallow. I actually like it a little bit more. I like it just a little bit more than the original, and that's because I love how the marshmallow comes through in this. I wear this with things like Burberry Her, which we're gonna get to in a second. Commodity milk. You get the lovely gourmand notes of the marshmallow and that bit of strawberry. The strawberry really again comes through in this one. I'd even wear this one with room for dessert. Like those would wear really really well together because of the complementary strawberry and gourmand kind of base and notes going on there. Okay, we have something new here. Well, hang on, hang on. We're not gonna get ahead of ourselves. I know I've talked about this one before. This is Showgirl from Harlem Perfume Company. This was exclusive to Sephora. You've got notes of fizzy mandarin, lavender diva, and golden amber. And what I remember vividly, I'm gonna give this one another whiff. What I remember vividly about the other one is that it's like a solar. Hmm, where can we go? This has had a little bit more time to sit, and it's interesting. I don't remember smelling as much citrus as I'm smelling now. It's not a citrus fragrance. This is not a citrus fragrance. I don't remember smelling as much citrus, but when you put citrus with something like lavender, they had this really unique dance. And it's not a bad one. It's a good one. That's I'm like, I know my face might be saying otherwise, but it is a good dance. I do really enjoy this one. This is going to be great heading into this next season because it does have some body to it. Like it's not wispy. You read those notes, and you think, oh, that's gonna be kind of wispy and just kind of light and airy. This is not light and airy. It's got body. It's got like body. And then I know I've talked about Glossier before. This is Glossier Urev. This is the fruity kind of gourmandy musk from that collection. I love this. I mean, I wear this with a lot of my gourmands. I wear this with a lot of fruit fragrances. It's just a nice general base. Another thing you're going to notice a trend here with our red. Red is like all about power, but red also represents seduction. It can represent, and pink, they can represent seduction and softness, a bit of femininity. You're going to see that kind of weaving through all of these fragrances here because they all kind of give that off in one direction or another. I have three fragrances in this part of my collection alone that are dupes of Baccarat Rouge. And so you've got Club de Nuit, Untold from Armoff. This is one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite dupe of Baccarat Rouge. Well, hang on, because there is one that I like a little bit more that I've actually finished the bottle on, and that was Ambre Saffron from Dossier. But this one is very powerful. When I tell you, you get the projection that you want from Baccarat Rouge, you get it from this without having to go for the extrait. It was like a $30 bottle. And then I also have Swevin and Orphic, both from Okja, which Swevin is your Baccarat Rouge 540 dupe, and this is your Extrait dupe, Orphic. It definitely has a bit more peppery notes in Orphic, but Swevin is, I mean, it's a great Baccarat dupe. Like it, soft notes of jasmine, saffron, cedarwood. It's simple. To me, I honestly feel like that is a really hard composition to mess up personally. It's a hard composition to mess up. Another thing you'll notice here with my red fragrances and some of these deeper toned bottles is that they do lean into the fruit. Like I have several fragrances I'm about to talk about that are heavy on fruit. Of course, you're going to get some that are heavy on floral because, you know, roses are red. But we have many like this one. This is from Latafa. This is the, I think it's I think it's just called Mayar. I think that's actually in Arabic. The Mayar Cherry Intense. And when I first got this fragrance, I was not in love with it. It smelled a little bit like cough syrup, a little bit medicinal, a little more medicinal than I would have wanted. But let's give it a spray and see how we've come in several months, how far we've come. And it didn't just smell like cough syrup. I remember it reminded me of Tootsie Pops, cherry Tootsie Pops, but not in a great way. And see, now it's in a good way. This has a cocoa note. It has to. It has to because that smells like a grown up cherry Tootsie Pop. That's exactly what that's giving. I like that one. That one's a good one. The one that surprised me was actually this one because I wasn't a big fan of Gucci Flora Gardenia. I didn't think I was going to love the Gardenia Intense. But surprise, surprise, I do. Ah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Especially if you like gardenias and jasmines. That's going to be a good fragrance for you, but it is really full bodied. It is intense. Projection is there, and it is a fruity floral. Like it's definitely a fruity floral. Another fruit that we can see right here at the front, right there at the front, you've got Batik watermelon. This is one of my favorites. I actually sprayed this on earlier. My only downside to this is that longevity is not fantastic. So it has to be layered, but this gives you watermelon candies. Like think about like hard candies, watermelon hard candies, Jolly Ranchers, like actual watermelon flavored candies. This is giving that watermelon candy vibe. And y'all know I have raved about Petal and Fig, how much I love this. This really gives that same vibe of um actually it gives the same vibe as this. And I think I talked about that in a previous video. Perfect for Marc Jacobs Absolute and Petal and Fig are their sisters, their cousins, their friends. They live on the same street. Because this was the $15, $16 version of this, which I did not pay $15, $16 for this. I can just go ahead and tell you that. But they have the same composition, that kind of caramelized fig, a little bit of jasmine and an amber in the dry down. And it's really nice. Like I mean, Perfect, Absolute, and Perfect Elixir are two of my all-time favorites from Marc Jacobs. Marc Jacobs to me just really doesn't miss when it comes to that kind of vibe of fragrance. Another one where fruity meets floral. I know I've talked about this before. My Devotion from Dolce and Gabbana. This is pear blossoms. This is just wonderfulness. Like this is a light, fruity floral in the sense that this and this, L'Imperatrice from Dolce& and Gabbana, these both give that luxury, clean, but fun vibe. Like you're gonna get your fruity notes. This is cranberry and royal azalea. This is pear blossom. You're gonna get your fun. Pear is fun and fragrance. Cranberry is surprisingly fun because it's a bit tart. But you're gonna get your fun with these. You're also gonna get like class, elegance, luxury. They smell like somebody's got some money. Like they smell like rich auntie vibes. Um, now, when it comes to some of like our big houses, as you see, I don't collect a ton from our big houses. And as I say that, I've got two Dolce Gabbanas, a Gucci, and a Marc Jacobs here. But one of my favorites is actually from Burberry, and that is Burberry Her, and this is Her Intense. Yes, Her Intense, which was my favorite Her. I like this one because of the intensity of the strawberry note. As you can see, there is a theme here. I like strawberry notes in my fragrance. We've got a couple here that have strawberry notes, and strawberry are amongst my favorite berries. But Burberry definitely did it with that one. That entire line is nice. It's very popular, but I really enjoy Her Intense as well as Her Elixir. They give the vibe that I really go for when it comes to those fruitier fragrances. And then finally, over here, we have Rose Era, which y'all know I've raved about this. I raved about the box and I raved about the fragrance. It is not just your typical rose smell. Again, you get some of those juicy, fruity notes in it. It's got a gorgeous, musky dry down. This is a beautiful, one of my favorite actual sections of my collection because there's so many good ones, like bangers. Like when I was getting rid of fragrance, this was one of the sections that remained fairly untouched. Now, before we get out of here, I have one more new fragrance, and I have been waiting. I mean, waiting to talk to y'all about this one because I'm really excited. There's a new fragrance line coming out, and I think they're going to be selling at Sephora, and it's called Born to Stand Out. And it is a Korean fragrance brand. It is one of a very few Korean fragrance brands. But this fragrance here, and I actually bought the discovery set. So in a separate video, we'll do the discovery set. But this one is called Drunk Maple from Born to Stand Out. And y'all, when I tell you the notes here that are promised, we're promised some rum, we're promised some maple, and I think a bit of vanilla. And this was not at all what I thought I was getting. Like, not at all. It is so boozy and smoky that I was like, this is a maple scent. It makes me think of like if there's such a thing as a maple barrel, like smoked maple barrel, that's what this gives. And it's definitely more winter. I would definitely say it's a lot more winter than it is anything else. But I can't wait to sweeten this up because they actually have a fragrance sweetener called Sugar Addict. And I bet these two would be delicious together. Oh, I love this. And what's crazy about this is the projection is so intense. So the way that they do fragrances at born to stand out is their eau de parfums sit more at the level of extraits. Their eau de toilettes, which they call intimité, it's like intimate, intimité, those fragrances sit more like eau de parfums. So you get longevity and they are designed to layer well together. But they have a fragrance sweetener called Sugar Addict that will sweeten any fragrance because the notes on it are sugar, cocoa, and vanilla. And it smells like a dream. It smells exactly like the dream that it sounds like. But this drunk maple, especially for my guys looking for something that is different. Like I would definitely say this leans a bit more masculine. Not that my ladies can't do it, because you totally can, but this definitely leans a bit more masculine. And that rum with the maple with the smoke, y'all. I always surprise people when I wear fragrances like this because I think they're like, what happened to the skin scent? What happened to the ambery skin situation you normally have going on? It's like sometimes I wake up feeling like drunk maple girl. Sometimes that's how I wake up feeling. Y'all, I really hope you've enjoyed this one. Um, this is Red. I have a couple more things that we're going to discuss in our next 2 or 3 videos of this collection, but I'm super excited. Y'all keep dropping those questions down there because I see them. I'm compiling them, and I'm going to do a whole video of just questions and answers. Because as much as y'all are excited to get to know me, I'm excited to talk about some different things and share more of who I am and what I'm in this space to do. So, yeah, that's all I got for you this time. Phoenix J out.